Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Avarice podcast. Today's episode is going to be a TV companion where I do commentary on The Wire Season 1, Episode 12. We're down to the final 2 episodes of the first season. Senor, you ruined my perfect season. I want to say that to D&D. Senor, you ruined the greatest show of all time. It is now no longer greatest show of all time. A potential to be greatest show of all time. No greatest show of all time. Me, The Wire, still number 1 all time. Great show. Great show, Wire. Yes. I'm actually thinking about going back and doing a commentary series like this on Game of Thrones, mainly because I just want to watch it all again and try to make sense of it, really analyze it. The first go around, I was more just along for the ride, and I think I missed a lot of the nuances. There's a lot of stuff that people saw coming that I didn't see coming, and that bothers me. And also, I don't want to turn this into a Game of Thrones thing, but if you're interested in commentary tracks on Game of Thrones, comment below, let me know. Something we might do. Anyway, back to The Wire. In the wake of Kima getting shot, by the way, started off the podcast, I already made a cup of coffee, so I'm sitting at the coffee table. Coincidentally enough, aptly named. And I'm going to take a couple hits on the bong, and then I will cue you up when we start the show, and you can watch along if you so choose. So the last episode, in the wake of Kima getting shot, they put a lot of fucking dope on the table, as they say. And they hit the main stash. So as a result, in this episode, there are going to be significant change-ups and a drought, so to speak. They don't have any product to sell. Their main stash got hit. And then, because they change it up, that leaves the detail kind of grasping at straws because their methods are no longer as valid as they were before. Let's just go ahead and get this shit moving. Excuse me. Let me skip the advertisement. Okay, if you're gonna wash your balls, don't do it in a golf ball washer. If you're going to watch this episode with me, press play in 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. That fuzzy ass snow. Kids today don't even know what that snow is about. Your TV just says no signal. There's no such thing as snow anymore. Informer. At least he's realizing. His work was too much about his ego instead of just being about the work. He thought he was the golden unicorn. Now, yeah, he's questioning his motives for even putting this much effort into pursuing the case. That's one of the things. I think it's almost become cliche in storytelling to have everything be cyclical, but that's the real way of the world for the most part. So this first season makes it look like they're going to do some real damage. They're going to take down this major drug kingpin. They're really going to put a dent in the drug trade. And you come to find out that somebody else is just there to pick up the reins as soon as they're dropped. And it's on to the next one. There's a vacuum and somebody moves in to fill that vacuum. And there's not really anything gained. It's just one person temporarily off the street. They never get deep enough or high enough up to really impact the level of drugs that are on the street. They just change who is slinging them, essentially. And every day they show up to work and do the same thing, and it just all keeps happening over and over again. That's essentially the message. There are small progressions and advancements therein, but for the most part, the show keeps on going. Just new players. That was a weird thing for me to realize with athletes, because when you're a kid, every time is relatively longer. And that's to say that you've had less days, you've had less years. So each year is going to feel relatively longer compared to the one after it, because the more time you get under your belt, the more this is just old hat. So when you're a kid and there's somebody who's a sports star for 10 years, that's your whole fucking life, and it feels like they've been around forever. And having to deal with the idea that they're going to go away and that new stars are going to come in, and then you get to be about my age and you've seen that turnover 2, 3, 4 times, and you realize actually how temporary the career of an athlete is, and it's the franchise, the city, the building, the coaches, that kind of shit sticks around, but the players come and go very quickly, honestly. And when I was a kid, I didn't realize it was that way. It's just like Michael Jordan's been the shit my whole life. Well, Michael Jordan will always be the shit. Why wouldn't he? It's going to be weird for me when Tom Brady finally retires. Tom Brady was a rookie in the year 2000, I think, or 2001. It's now 2019. Jesus Christ. They're confiscating the pagers. For some reason, I thought they had already done this. I thought they had already taken the pagers. So they took the pagers. They're not doing payphones anymore. And it's all going to be cell phones that they've been supplied. No saving numbers, no giving it out to your girl, nothing. Just like any business would do, you take a big loss, you got to make change ups or you're going to fail.
We need some real, man. We're going to tap out by noon.
Yeah, for when? My niggas ain't heard. Alco's took the main stash. Why the fuck you think we change it up?
Yeah, you don't exactly understand the ramifications of what happened, bro. We have nothing to sell, and that's our business, is selling. So we've got to start coming at this from a drastically different angle, or we're going to lose our ass. What an amateur at eye drops.
The gift of corrected compliments of the
I know it's a struggle for some people. I've never had an issue with eye drops. I can eye drop the shit out of my eyes. Even if there's no shit in there. Even if I don't have pink eye, I can still eye drop them. How about that? So now they're going to see no activity whatsoever on the pagers and payphones anymore. Just total dead end. They killed their case by busting the main stash.
Not a message since early morning. Shit, I even had to cut Prez loose. Send his ass on down to Annapolis. For what?
So they have no idea
I checked all the stuff here in the city.
what's going on day to day. They can't. Their fingers off the pulse.
All the work we did to get up on this fucking war. We don't need these guys the way that we did expect to stay in the pocket. Plus, they know they got the police. Well, we need to change up too.
So they've got D'Angelo's ex-girl, who Freeman's sweet on, and he's starting to slowly work his way in there. And they're going to have her spy for them. That's one of the angles they're working. Prez is following up on campaign financial reports. And they're trying to work the money side. Motherfucker got game.
Those narcos motherfuckers clean my shit out. You can replace product.
Oh, Kevin Durant.
Right. We gotta focus on what's real. All of this shit is real. All of it. They want to put me in a box. Listen, I think what's important is to take stock. Can I ask you something?
These are the things you have to consider when you decide to become a major player in the drug dealing game. Eventually, you're probably going to get put in a box. That's just the cut and dry of it.
Start with Orlando. Orlando rolled. You know, we talked about the club at least.
That punk ass nigga ain't talking about shit else but the club. That's all he knew about. He wasn't rolling with us like that. Kept him on the outside.
Alright. So you walk away from the club. You're not on the license. You're not listed owner.
They're going to have to change their main headquarters and leave the club. Give up the club.
Well, at the time that your nephew beat that charge.
After maybe when they found the witness with the lead in his dome, shit hit the newspapers, but around that time.
So they're trying to figure out exactly when the heat started. What did they do that put the magnifying glass on them? Why are they under the microscope now? And this is what I meant about I was talking about in the last episode, how lawyers get to walk this weird gray area legally, where he knows that these motherfuckers are criminals, and he's helping them circumvent the law. But that's also his job. It's like it's a legal criminal. Like, that's what he is. And then does it take a certain type of person to do that? Like, did he know when he went to law school that he was going to be an attorney for these kind of people? And I don't mean black people. I mean criminals, drug dealers. Or did he get an offer along the way? Did he become a prestigious attorney first? How does that happen? And how does he sleep at night? Helping get people off of murders he knows where they're guilty. Helping Savino when fucking Kima got shot. Helping Savino when they shot a cop.
I gave you those people. I decide who comes back. But feel free to speak your mind if it were up to you.
You cocksucker. Why don't you go play golf?
I have no opinion. Take your pick. What's the name of the old detective from Pawn Shop? And that young one, Valtek's brain dead son-in-law.
So asking him to return a bunch of his people because his case is dying down now. And they're not even letting him pick who he can keep. But they inadvertently told him to keep Freeman and Presbalewski and send back Sidnor and Santangelo. Sidnor is a good pickup, but only in the field. Santangelo doesn't do shit. Freeman is the motherfucker, and Presbalewski is the one who's doing all the running down of the money and the crossword puzzle shit. And it sounds like he gets McNulty, because nobody wants McNulty. Poor fucking McNulty. And they're dangling the carrot of being a commander or whatever the fuck his next promotion is. Lieutenant. He already is lieutenant. Major? Yeah, I think major is his next step. So this is funny. This politician is going to preemptively return a donation to her because he's worried about being under investigation.
And making calls to some contributors, asking questions.
Her heart's beating 100 miles an hour
I don't know anything about this.
because this puts her career kind of in jeopardy. She wasn't even aware that they were pursuing this case in this fashion.
No one on that detail has come to me for any kind of subpoena.
Because as we saw with Phelan, being a judge is oddly political and doesn't seem to be merit-based. You have to be elected.
I want to give you this. Copies of checks
I think she wants to be a judge at some point.
representing the return of 5 separate contributions totaling $4,500. Also, copies of the checks from the donor are represented there too. Well, kind of like Caesar's wife and all that shit. And the only thing that we could come up with were those 5 checks. And I don't know those people. And I don't know why they gave. That money's going to be returned to the donors immediately.
Guys,
They're trying to wash their hands of any wrongdoing preemptively
fucking thing
and
about
claiming ignorance.
and paying contributions.
Be that as it may, this should make it clear that our hands are clean. Ronnie, I want you to take that back to whoever.
Politics, fucking A.
And I want you to tell them they've got no quarrel with me.
All of them pretending they don't do anything wrong when they all know that they're all doing everything wrong. This weird club they have where they all kiss each other's ass and suck each other's dick, get paid for shit they don't deserve, pretend they're not regular people.
Which one?
It's perfect facade.
We paid him for the lookout.
Which I need them for.
Mostly to you.
Oh no.
I don't worry about that.
So
He's gone. He's out the game.
they're suspicious of Wallace now
May I ask you a simple
because all this shit's coming down right around the same time Wallace started bucking. So this doesn't all
out the game?
line up well for Wallace. And he did actually talk to the cops.
Well, you know we just want to talk to him, B. Be gone. Let the boy be.
And this is kind of the moment where D'Angelo draws his line in the sand. And he says, he's like telling him, like, exercising as much power as he possibly can. Like, dude, if you do something to Wallace, we're done. That's basically what he's communicating to him without saying that. What did that, the 6-inch rule is strictly enforced? I don't know what that means. Her eyes just got all big. Did she not realize D'Angelo was going up there that whole time, or? She's got her contact lenses now. She can actually see when she's up there.
Honey, just leave the damn thing alone.
These fucking scholars.
George's lunch on Light Street. Did we try? They closed that place back when you were still sucking on your mama's nipples, man. Your mama's nipples? You sucked on me crumbs last night. You owe me 10. I said they were better dogs to have today. Not in world history. You just said it better. Could you go get that dog right now? Could not go.
These two fucking guys.
You said the best fucking physically. Will you actually just keep it down? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
I've been feeling like that at work sometimes lately. There's these people that just, they talk loud in the shit they talk about, and they never shut the fuck up. And we don't get paid hourly. We're 1099. We're here to get work done. Just shut the fuck up and do it. Please, please. If those two fucks want to eat a hot dog and talk about where you can get the best hot dog in town, they take their ass outside. Eat at the hot dog stand. She can finally match voices to faces.
Who the fuck is she?
She's realizing that who she's been listening to this whole time is Avon. Oh, that's the witness they flipped in D'Angelo's murder way back at the beginning of the season. Nah, the one who did it, he ain't here.
I was early. I worked the lunch crowd.
Shaking that ass. That's what it said on the mirror in lipstick. I like to read the little stuff that they add.
She's out.
Like somebody had to decide, unless this is an actual club and they're just filming in it temporarily, and they left it alone the way it was. Somebody has to decide to put shaking that ass on the mirror in lipstick.
They're gonna look at me and they're gonna know I need to quit.
Just bugging out. Oh no. And see, this is his big mistake. If he had just stayed, if Wallace had just stayed at his grandma's, everything would have been good. He'd have been fine. But he had to come back.
There was no farms down there, man. They had some family stuff, you know what I mean? They got their Saturday night shit down there. Serious. And it was like, you know. This, right? That's where you got them dollars right there? These Timmons. Yeah, they Timmons, man. I can see the tree on the side of it. So you gonna put me back on the money?
Oh, and then he's going to get caught up in the mix again. Oh, Wallace. Wallace is one of the most tragic characters. If you've seen the movie Hardball, it was around this same era. And they were Little League baseball players. And his little brother gets killed in the movie. And so every time I see him, I think of that. And then the way he goes out in this, which was just shocking the first time I saw it. You didn't expect one of the main characters and the most beloved characters in the show to die like that. It's upsetting to me. But that's good TV. He served his purpose well in the story.
Why Ace keeps allowance now? Because now they know it for real. Everyone's cleaning the house all the way.
Excuse me. So that's why they want to talk to Wallace. That's why they killed the security guard. They're trying to get rid of all the loose ends. And they just realized they haven't checked in with Wallace in like a week.
Took him down to the show on the Friday. The plan was to Avarice?
Kima got shot and they forgot about him entirely.
Is there someone that can take a run out in Cambridge, check on the kid who got stashed down there? No, there's no phone wasted. No, yeah. Have Sidney pull a call from Lloyd Pool. We get the kid back up here tonight. He sleeps on my sofa and the grand jury in the morning.
A day late and a dollar short, you motherfuckers. They remembered after he was already back. If they would have remembered yesterday, they'd have been cool.
With me, I got no problem with that. Remember who you are, detective. Protect and serve.
Oh, man. Freeman's a sly motherfucker.
You leaving? You stirred up some shit. I'm saying it ain't your fault or nothing. Just D, look, I appreciate what you're trying to say and all, but I grew up in the course, alright? I've been with them niggas since shit forever.
Right now, Michael B. Jordan looks like he's got like a basketball player's build, but he turns into like a fucking
You ain't hearing me.
football player, MMA fighter build.
In this game, you telling you in it for life. Alright? You play it hard, you play it tight. You make sure niggas know you gonna stand by your people. No loose talk, no second thoughts, and no snitching. Play it like that.
They're gonna find out he's back.
Hey! What you doing down in PJs, you know? Just looking for you.
So this is Avon's sister, D'Angelo's mother. She brought him takeout.
Spicy fish cakes. Saltines with the mustard. It's gonna make me cry, you know. You can get up out of here and get back to it.
Oh, how cute. She brought him lunch. That's sweet.
Sterling's, baby. Out the
feast.
The hell is Sterling? Sterling, you know, up on 29th Street, don't you know nothing? Shit, if it ain't up in the west side, I don't know shit, you know. This shit,
That's what a shame.
right here.
All he knows is one side of a town that's not even that big. That's his whole universe.
That's my mom.
It's not on the west side. I don't know it, he says.
You know Senator Davis?
No, sir.
Shit.
Clay wanted to meet you. See if there was any help.
That's not what he means.
Your people are apparently pulling finance reports and checking up on some of the contributors.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
I'm not involved in drugs, Lieutenant.
Then you'll have nothing to be worried about.
And this business with the senator's driver.
Mr. Price.
Day Day. Day Day.
This is Mr. Price. This is a misunderstanding. That is really of no concern to the police.
Cedric laughed at him. Oh, I love it.
The money was banded and manicured by denomination.
This is a crime here. That was money that Damien already had on him when he drove down to Franklin Terrace. Money from a cash bar fundraiser the previous weekend. We filed an amendment.
Oh, I'm sure that your lines of bullshit are limitless.
If there's no probable cause for a search of Mr. Price, I think we are in agreement on that.
No, there was PC for the search.
You're saying you have evidence that a senatorial aide is involved in drugs?
No, we saw him get a drop from a known drug
Afterwards, we just
associate.
$1,000 in cash and banded manicured bills. That's all I'm saying.
Irv, will you explain to this motherfucker just what the fuck it is he's doing here?
Lieutenant Davis.
Excuse me, sir. That's pretty basic. If the senator's not involved in anything illegal, then he doesn't need to worry.
Cedric's finally grown a pair. He's not worried anymore about what other people
Do you know
think.
anything about who gives money?
He's gonna stand up for what he believes.
Give a damn about who they are or what they want? We have no way of running down them. or
He's
their
turned. He's less of a company man now, and he's more about doing what he thinks he needs to do.
Cash the damn checks, count the votes, and move on.
Anything else, Deputy Burrow? Gentlemen,
They thought they were gonna strong arm him in that meeting, and it didn't work at all. He pulled out that Jerry Rice gene, and he was like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
That he's gonna see the Philadelphia
Danced right around that.
You just ain't talking to me now, Irv. You talking to the mayor, the city caucus, the state central committee, and right now you got your hand in our pocket.
He got a stain. No, it was a shadow. So earlier when Herc didn't even know that you had to know the numbers when he was studying, was he bullshitting? Because he gets a better score on the test than Carver did. How is that even possible?
Fucking Carver, he gets back from in-service training. He's gonna kiss the stripes.
Oh my god. Herc got a promotion. Think of everybody that works in this detail. He's probably the least deserving of a promotion, at least from a maturity and leadership aspect. And he's the one who gets it. Wallace is out of pocket. If you're not watching along, I said that in unison with him. I didn't intend to. Nobody's got any product to move. It's all gone. Talk about hitting them in their pockets, which is where it counts the most. That's when people change. Oh, shit. This is Bodie's moment. This is when he becomes part of the inner crew. Bodie's probably the worst person to ask about Wallace because he thinks everybody's weak.
a word? I heard he was out the game.
Was, maybe back now.
Where you been at?
At his granny house, he
And Stringer has a weird way of asking him if he'll kill Wallace without directly asking him.
He just ain't built for this, man. Heart pump Kool-Aid. Right. What about you? You built for this shit?
Ready to put in work? Sweet. Yep. So he's basically asking him, will you assassinate Wallace for us? Or will you be our hitman? You got a gun? You straight? Alright, take care of it. From Stringer's point of view, it's smart because he has the access. He's about as close to Wallace as anybody could get. But fuck, man. They let you know with the Wallace death, like, that we are not fucking around. We aren't gonna play to your emotions. We're not gonna preserve characters if it doesn't make sense. This shit's gonna be raw. Was that Wallace's place? Where is he at? They moved? Now where do they stay?
Bob's never be putting no napkins in the bag.
Well, but napkins expensive and shit.
So is money.
Come on, go to me. I know what's in.
They moved their extension cord into a new vacant place.
Chinese food, 'cause you know, I'm looking kind of needy right about now. Listen to me. Hold up.
At least Wallace kicked the shit. New video on 106 in Park. It's vicious.
Any word on the kid?
I rolled around here with y'all night with this big body. If he's down there, he ain't got no profile.
We got lookouts for every car in the west and the central. We're trying for an address on his mother.
Detective? Lieutenant? Was dead. So we've been ordered to begin.
They're kind of soft pedaling the danger aspect. You don't realize how imminent it is. You're kind of thinking they're going to find him. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But in retrospect, I'm screaming inside, like, you guys got to find him. You got to put more effort out than this. You got to find him. He's still alive at this point.
That's what is now Orlando's, the upper floors. This is the property next door. Come-star search. The plan is to get a remote mic into the office. Maybe even some fiber optics. Only we don't know where Avon's office.
So they're going to go into the unit next door and drill through the wall and you put a camera in to the office.
30-inch QuickTime. Jet dodging peace freaks, huh? Give me a ruler and some string.
Why me?
See, Herc, like, he's already acting like he's above everybody. And he's a dick face. How are you gonna go and tell Poot about it? That's what if Poot warned Wallace? He probably should have. Now that I'm thinking on it, why didn't Poot warn Wallace? That's true too. If you're gonna be in the game, when they ask you to do this, you do it. Wallace is like 15, 16.
Do you ever hear of an elected official in Baltimore giving money back?
They just stirring up some shit. Yeah. Ha ha.
Forgive me for prying into the details of our investigation.
You're forgiven. Don't worry about it.
What the hell are you guys doing?
Sorry, I didn't know we needed to ask permission to do police work.
You
I thought we set him up, you knock him down. We're just over here setting him up. Get off our case.
Fast as it can.
Excuse me.
Why didn't you tell me?
Aren't you better off that we didn't?
Yes. It's got a point there. There you go, body. It's a beautiful body. It's like a bar. They seem mesmerized by watching her walk. This is important stuff, Rhonda. Mind your business.
I remember my mom used to bring me in here to go to this place called Fruit Fangs.
Like orange soda, some shit like that?
Nah, these shits was fresh. My mom used to put Mad Bacardi in her though.
Wasn't like she didn't pour that too. You know what I'm saying? Talking about your mama, you still a kid.
Yeah, Bodhi, it's his last day on Earth. You're about to kill him. Just cut the motherfucker a break. Let him enjoy himself. Make his last day on Earth all doom and gloom. Bodhi ends up being a good character, but at this point, Amy's always a good character because he makes you have a reaction to him either way. But I was not feeling him at this point. But then later, he kind of becomes one of the quote good guys when he's going up against Marlowe and them.
It's the second one from the rear. The stairs are 30 paces from the front. There's 24 stairs, about a foot each. When you get to the top floor, it's 8 paces to the door to the dressing room, and another 10 to the back room.
80 to 110 in from the front.
Look at the math whiz, Presbalewski. Started off the season as a total incompetent dipshit. Now look at him. Look at him. They just got a ride from some random dude. Tried to charge him $15. He threw him 10 and said, "I don't see no meter. Get the fuck out of here." Oh my God, Herc. Such a fucking douchebag. I think Wallace's mother is a junkie. I think there's a reason that he lives the life he does. It's probably not good parenting. And Wallace, he's not suspicious of what's coming at all. This shit's rough. Done so well, though. I mean, it gets the reaction that they want to get. What's the box? I hate that Bodhi gives him the time to think about it, though. I wish he would have just shot him when he wasn't even looking. Just shoot him in the back of the head and get it over with. The fact that he stares him down and makes him cry. Come on, Bodhi. I still didn't believe it was gonna happen. I was expecting some fucking miracle, save the day, plot armor shit. Poot's like, fucking do it already. And then he just shoots him once. He's sitting there wheezing. God damn, that's rough. And so ends the story of Wallace in The Wire. Poot carries on after this remarkably well. Not a great character trait. Are all the other kids hers too? Where did all those kids come from that he takes care of? And where were they today?
Here's my card. You run into him, you call me.
That scene with Wallace got me too far in my head. I started thinking about if somebody was sitting there pointing a gun at me and the shit that would flash through my head and my son. It's got all emotional. It's a fucking riveting scene.
He's packing shit up.
No music to make you feel a certain way or anything, just the way it plays out. They finally get surveillance in the office and they're packing up to leave. They're just a step behind. McNulty said it before in the season. They're never where they need to be when they need to be there. There's always a step behind. Oh, come on, yeah. And then you hang up. I've watched so many episodes of The Wire that I can identify Baltimore accents now. That new movie, White Boy Rick, or newer movie, that the kid's supposed to be from New York. I was watching that with my wife, and I went, this kid sounds like he's got a Baltimore accent, and this is supposed to be New York. So I looked it up, and that guy, the actor who played White Boy Rick, is from Baltimore. There's just a certain way they talk.
How much is it? We just need to maintain. Put on enough so we can keep holding them towers.
Avon isn't really a good example. Really Stringer either. Who that? Hear weird creaking noises on my patio. Don't really want to investigate. Might be Bodie. It's spooky. Oh, fuck. Bunk just found Wallace. Wearing his new Timbs. Such a fucking waste. Wallace is up there with like the Ned Stark beheading in Game of Thrones for like, oh my god, they really just did that? Ned Stark's probably more dramatic. He was more of a main character. But shots fired for sure. Like I said, they're letting you know they're not here to fuck around. They mean business. I'm a dealer. Oh. Excuse me. Oh. The feeling, like, this case has caused Kima to get shot, and now Wallace is dead. And this inconsiderate motherfucker is going to throw that chicken carcass in the garbage right next to Freeman. But he notices a clue. Oh, that's right. There's a city rehab project. Like a revitalization. gentrification, and all the random buildings that Avon and Stringer own are in that area.
Let Stringer out of the box.
So they've been making political donations in exchange for inside information as to where the new developments are going to be so that they could buy up the property well in advance and make a ton of money selling it back or developing it themselves.
You believe that? Boy had to get himself correct.
Oh, and this is where he gets busted.
We're on.
So they're so desperate for product that they send D'Angelo to New York to get a shipment. And luckily they got the surveillance in the office in time to pick up the intel and intervene. And they bust him with their new re-up in the trunk.
Mr. Barksdale, our toll booth cameras have you on the GW Bridge at 2310 hours, and then re-entering the turnpike at the same exit 35 minutes later. Why did you drive all the way to New York for half an hour? Is that the car, sir?
You're stuck, bro.
Keep your hands where I can see 'em. Turn around, face the car.
Drove all the way to New York for a half an hour. They know that shit when they pull you over. That's crazy.
Illegal substances I should know about.
He realizes he's been got when he sees these motherfuckers pull up. Knows this runs deeper than just some traffic camera.
Okay, slowly bring your right arm around your back. Bring the other one.
He'd have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. And they're gonna tell him about Wallace. That inspires the famous, "Where's Wallace, Stringer? Where's Wallace?"
Remember me? Lawyer. Easy. Just get me started.
You want me to write some fucking letters?
Okay, so you're hard. But guess what? I could give a fuck.
You, I'm tired of your games. What, you want me to write a letter?
A little bit older, a little bit wiser.
Not that you messed up. I mean, you did everything right. Speed limit, turn signals, working tail lights. Question you gotta ask is, how'd those troopers know to pull you over? Someone else fucked up.
They're trying to get him to roll on somebody and say that
It's you they're gonna blame, and you was gonna do the
it was somebody else's fault. And they got good
Well, that'll be Levy, right?
good points.
He's getting paid by your uncle, is that right? Oh, yeah. He's looking up.
Trying to turn him against Avon. Right now the narrative is playing in their favor.
I ain't saying another damn thing to nobody but my lawyer.
I know that's the law and everybody's entitled to that, and you probably should do it just to make sure you don't say something stupid, but doesn't it always make people sound guilty when they refuse to talk without talking to their lawyer first?
Lying motherfucker. So what?
That's just the feeling I get when I hear somebody say that. But it's probably what I would say too. Because you want to make sure you don't accidentally like double talk yourself or backtrack, or like you want to make sure you get all your shit straight for the record ahead of time.
You had to send him the way you did. In one car. You should have been trailing a mule.
D'Angelo's mom is pissed at Avon, her brother, but he's about to get real on her. He's gonna be like, charge that shit to the game.
Send my son to New York.
We have a certain lifestyle. In order to keep that up,
Lied with that package in the
certain shit is gonna have to happen.
Don't bring that boy out of prison. Just better make sure that Jew lawyer of yours has his money, all right?
D'Angelo will have to do his part.
Meaning what?
You like the car you driving in, right? Like this crib? I put you in this crib. You like it? Yeah, meaning we all got a lot to protect here. You need to remind him of that. So when it come down to it, he can
Yeah, see. It's a weird situation. There's a lot of people relying on D'Angelo to do this time and take the weight.
Avarice.
A lot's gonna come tumbling down if he doesn't do it. And he's over here feeling like he got set up. Like everybody's just using him like their little bitch.
Oh, really? So who did it? Why the fuck are we here?
You need to do is keep your head through the veil here. Got a good shot of bringing you home here.
Then what?
You gonna take the weight for all the shit in the trunk of that car?
Did they tell him about Wallace?
Where's Wallace at?
Oh, they must have.
Where's the boy, String?
D'Angelo shut you out.
Oh boy.
Where's Wallace?
This is where he turns on him, for at least temporarily. He's realizing that these dudes
Where's Wallace?
have no compassion, and he's not really like them.
Look at me! Where the fuck is Wallace? Huh? I want this Payless Wayne motherfucker representing me. I'm gonna get my own man. Alright? So just give
He's calling him a Payless wearing motherfucker? Isn't Libby rich as fuck?
I ain't you stupid motherfucker. You made your decision.
Yeah, I made my decision. Where's Wallace at? Where the fuck is Wallace? Where's Wallace, String? String! Where the fuck is Wallace?
D'Angelo's character's starting to redeem himself for all the shit he's participated in. He's finally turning over to the good side. This show was a lot of people showing both good and bad elements of human nature in the same person,
I thought your little bird told you everything we did.
which is accurate to reality.
What about people got
We all have the capacity for great good and great evil, and sometimes it varies day to day.
Good work. We've got a viable case on our main target. Just charge Barksdale with the temp purchase from New York and bring it all home.
And what about String as number 2? He slipped off the hook when we lost the boy witness.
We've done all we can.
Oh yeah, when they lost Wallace, they don't have a charge for Stringer now. They have nothing to charge Stringer with, so Stringer gets to stay out.
I'm trying to put them down for real, not for some short-time bit.
Stringer probably doesn't even he definitely doesn't realize that he saved his own ass when he did that.
Trying to do house if you have people pulling campaign records and finance reports. The fuck has that got to do with anything?
The money is part of my case. And there might have been a time when I was willing to say otherwise to let you and all your friends hide some bit different, but not now.
You want
Cedric's full on martyr mode now.
to talk some shit about the East?
He's ready to fall on the cross.
What was going on back when you was running wild in the DEU?
Let's just talk.
I meant fall on the sword, die on the cross, whatever.
FBI field reports. You came into a lot of money quick.
Now Burrell's gonna try to blackmail him.
Jail just as quick if I start asking the right questions. This case ends, or you are done. Hell, I don't even need you to lock up Barksdale. I'll have your major debrief your
So basically, they did the same thing with McNulty. If you don't do what they want you to do, they threaten you with your career. They tell you that your career is gonna go. They're gonna do you. They're gonna
You do what you feel.
put you out on the street.
You want to pull Avon in on half a case? Go ahead. You want to put my shit in the street? Feel free. But the Eastern had a lot of stories. Mine ain't the only one. A lot of people came through that district. If you were gonna do me, I'd already be done. But there ain't nothing you fear more.
God damn, Cedric's beautiful in this episode.
You'd rather live in shit than let the world see you work a shovel. You can order warrants, and I'll see. But as long as I
Yes, he's tired of living in shit. He wants to work a shovel. I love that fucking phrase. It's in a Brother Ali song. It says, I don't think God's obligated to touch you if your ass would rather live in shit than work a shovel.
look at these Delta Force motherfuckers, right? I mean, look at them.
Look at you dressed all up like you're a cocaine dealer when you're getting ready to go to jail.
He said he gonna meet us down there.
Damn, I still ain't get this safe out of here yet, man.
Why didn't you just take the money out of it?
Run to go safe.
How did you get the safe in there and you can't get it out? I know that they already talked about that, but why would there still be money in it? Why wouldn't you take the money out? I don't understand.
This isn't as much fun as I thought it would be.
Just because you can't remove the safe doesn't mean you can't remove the money.
Tony Montana up there, these guys haven't touched a gun in years. Ah, fuck this shit.
Let's do this the right way.
You and me, Lieutenant.
This is the best buddy cop show ever. McNulty and Daniels. You You could have done a Lethal Weapon movie with these two right here. Look at them. Beautiful. Murtaugh. Riggs. They know what's coming. They're not going to put up a fight. They know it's futile. He's got his hand down his pants. So casual. So weird to like know that they're coming to arrest you like this. Have everything cleaned out. Be so casual about it. Relaxed, confident, comfortable. It's not how I would be feeling. Why was there still money in there? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Catch you later.
Now you see why killing Wallace was such a crucial part of the story. Because it goes a lot differently if Stringer and Avon go to jail. There's nobody left to run shit. But with just Avon going away, Stringer's out in the wind. And he can still keep them surviving on a subsistence level. At the very least, while Avon's in jail. And if they hadn't killed Wallace, that wouldn't be the case. Wonder if they even paid Bodie for that. He just did it for the rep. Did it for the gram. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
No, nothing there.
See, they're kind of wrapping up the people on the street side as far as Avon and all of his comrades are concerned, but they have a lot of ground left to cover on the money side that they're not going to get to do.
I'm gonna go back to auto tomorrow morning. I just feel like this just ain't finished.
Detective?
That would be so weird. You're doing this for months, and then all of a sudden the next day you have to go back to your old job. It's kind of crazy. It would be depressing, I would think. There's that iconic couch in this pit that's been hopping the entire season. There's not a fucking thing going on. There's no drugs to sell, and there's barely anybody to sell them. Traffic moves on to elsewhere. And that's the end of the episode. So the last thing we have left will be the finale. I'm not sure if I'm going to record that this week or next, but I will be getting it out soon. Check me out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, iTunes, or just Google that shit. Avarice Podcast. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.